The video game crash of 1983. Everybody today has at least heard of video games before, and most of us are playing or have played at least some video games. Thanks to their interactive nature, video games have become the largest entertainment industry in the world. As an example, in 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 made $800 million on its first day alone. But have you ever thought about this massive industry had its dark and dim moments? So let's rewind and talk about our story's main character, Atari. Originally a Silicon Valley startup, Atari dominated arcade gaming from 1972 to 1976, creating the classics that everyone knows, like Pong, Pac-Man, and Frogger. Games even non-gamers would easily recognize. Thanks to Atari, not only arcade gaming exploded, but home console market has expanded immeasurably. This success of Atari has attracted big corporations, such as Warner Brothers, which acquired Atari, hoping to dominate this new market. With this new investment from Warner Brothers, Atari quickly expanded throughout the world. And Atari became so big that in many countries, its name was synonymous with the video gaming and video consoles. Just watch this ad from Turkey.
Evinize koşun, Atari ile coşun. Evinize koşun, Atari ile coşun. Evinize koşun, Atari ile coşun.
Televizyon oyunu Atari Türkiye'de. Koşun, oynayın, eğlenin. Rakiplerinize ve kompütere meydan okuyun. Bilgisayar çağına hazırlanın. Nefes kesen yarışlar, uzay savaşları, bitmeyen heyecan Atari'de. Her eve, her televizyona bir Atari.
Atari, şimdi sokaklar bomboş.
But this rapid, unchecked growth led to a market bubble, and soon the crash came. The rise of home consoles gave birth to a third-party game development industry. Initially, Atari maintained quality control, ensuring games justified their $22 to $29 price tags, which is around $75 to $100 of today's money, which is a lot. But after Warner Brothers took over, Atari struggled. Low-quality third-party games flooded the market, and 90% of the customers returned games. With these massive return rates, Atari banked everything on their first-party games. Atari was trying its best to ensure that their own first-party games were making the buck. Most of these first-party games were around popular movies at the time. For example, The Biggest Disaster, E.T., the Extraterrestrial. Atari banked everything on this game, paying Steven Spielberg $20 to $25 million for the video game rights. But Atari, despite of this game kind of their best hope to make a huge comeback in this industry, they have assigned only one programmer to it, Howard Scott Warshaw, and they gave him just only 5 weeks to develop it from top to bottom. Comparing to aforementioned GTA 5, which is made by 1,000 developers in 3 years of a time, this game didn't clearly have the time or the development team enough to make it stand out. On top of all of this, Atari overproduced ET cartridges, expecting it to drive console sales. But instead, 2.6 million copies sold, but most of them were quickly returned. Left with millions of unsold cartridges, Warner Brothers took drastic action. They buried them in the middle of a New Mexican desert. And yes, this has really happened. While the American gaming industry has collapsed under our very eyes, Nintendo was on the rise. Their slower international expansion worked in their favor. They did what Atari couldn't. First, they focused on quality. For example, 17 of the best-selling games of all time are Nintendo exclusives. They also introduced the seal of quality, ensuring that only polished and enjoyable games were able to reach the store shelves. So, what do you think? Were Warner Brothers and Atari to focus on the profits to care about the quality of the games? Could they have prevented the crash at all? Let me know in the comments below. If you want a video on how Nintendo took over the gaming industry, smash that like button and subscribe. See you next time. Cheers!